Most uptime tests focus on your website, but sometimes a website is only part of the picture. If you're running your own infrastructure, one of the most useful signals you can monitor is whether your server is still accessible at the SSH level. This is what the SSH Uptime test is for. In this video, I'll show you how to set up an SSH test in StatusCake, what it checks, and when it's useful. SSH stands for Secure Shell. It's the standard way to log in into a Linux or Unix server remotely. So an SSH uptime test checks, can we reach the server over the network? Is the SSH service responding on the expected port? And is it accepting connections correctly? This is useful because it tells you something slightly different from HTTP monitoring. Your website might still respond, but SSH could be down, or SSH might be working, but your web service has crashed. So that gives you another layer of visibility. SSH monitoring is useful if you manage your own VPS or dedicated servers, you rely on being able to access infrastructure remotely, you want an early signal that the server is unhealthy, or you've had issues where the machine is up but the services aren't responding properly. It's especially helpful for internal infrastructure checks. For most website-only monitoring, HTTP is enough, but for server owners, SSH is a great extra layer. Let's go through the setup. First, enter the host or IP address of the server you want to monitor. This could be a host name or a direct IP address. Most teams will just use the server's public IP here. Next is the port. By default, SSH runs on port 22, and that's what you'll see here. If your server uses a custom SSH port for security reasons, you can change it here. Now, choose the check rate. As always, faster checks equals faster detection, but also potentially more alert noise. For SSH, I usually recommend 5 minutes for general monitoring and 1 minute only if SSH availability is truly crucial. Now give the test a clear name, something like production SSH access, server login monitoring, or core infrastructure SSH. The goal is that if you ever get an alert, you instantly know what it refers to. Next would be our monitoring regions. Pick regions that match where your infrastructure or team is based. For example, Tokyo or Hong Kong. Then choose your confirmation servers. I will always recommend using 2 or 3 servers because occasional network routing issues can happen and confirmation servers reduce false positives. Next, we want to go down and choose our alert settings, so our contact group. This should be whoever is responsible for server access or infrastructure response. You can enable an alert delay if you want, but for SSH, I usually keep it immediate because loss of access can block recovery. Under additional options, you'll see SSH credentials. For a beginner setup, you don't usually need to configure this. Most teams start by simply checking that the SSH service is reachable and responding. Credential-based checks are more advanced and we'll cover those properly later. Once everything looks good, click Create Test, and that's it. StatusCake will now alert you if your server stops responding over SSH, giving you an early warning that something may be wrong at the infrastructure level. And with that, we've now covered every uptime test type in the beginner series.